everybody, welcome to today's video. If you are new here, hi, I'm Sarah Jane. Nice to meet you. This month we're focusing on all things goal setting, habit planning, anything in the realm of visioning for the life that you want to live and making it happen. If that's something that interests you, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can get 2 new videos from me every single week. Now, let's talk about my favorite day planners. One of the most common questions that I receive, whether it's about monthly planning, daily planning, or weekly planning, is what day planner do you use? And here's the thing. The answer to that question is not so simple because I am a creature of change. I need change in order to stay motivated, and so I change my day planner up regularly, like once every 2 quarters, I would say, like half a year. I stick to one planner at a time. But I will go through the planners that I love and have used and stand by, as well as the ones that I would say are Brave Collective approved. For those of you who aren't familiar, Brave Collective is my online membership community where I teach you how to use your personality to get more done in less time so that you can be the decider for how you spend your life. So if that's of interest to you, I have it linked in the description below. You can just go to thebravecollective.co and check it out for yourself. But it is the system that I use to plan my quarters, my months, my weeks, my days, and all of these planners will work with that curriculum and help you to do more with your life in less time. So before we dive in, I want to say I'm going to save the one that I'm currently using to the end. So if you want to know the one I'm using right now, make sure you stay to the end of the video because that's when it will come out. The first one I have for you today is the Full Focus Planner. This is done by Megan and Michael Hyatt, who I adore, and they created this awesome planner system. This is very similar. So if you aren't familiar with my career, I had a day planner service, about 3 years ago now, called Journey Books, and I would send out a new day planner to you every single month. And this is actually like eerily similar to what I did with Journey Books. So I'm a big fan. I stand behind it 100%. Things that I like about it are that you have a full spread for every single day. For me, as someone who's a deep planner, who every single day is usually full of things, I like having this system. It also has a daily big 3 list and then a large space for you to put all of your other tasks. It also has hour by hour, which for me is really important, and then a whole page just for notes for the day. It also feels very luxurious. It's like good, nice binding, and it can just lay flat. It also has 2 ribbons for bookmarks. These things are like really important to me as someone who uses a day planner every day. Other things that I really like about this particular one is they have a weekly setup. So Monday through Friday, because in Brave Collective I teach you about using weekly to-do lists over daily to-do lists, and so this gives you space for that. They also have a mini, if you're someone who likes kind of a smaller edition. This one isn't for me as much just because you don't have as much space and it doesn't have that weekly calendar that I definitely need. But it is really like pretty and made small for those of you who prefer that. Kind of the big difference here is you still have like a full page, but you don't have a full spread. So like this is one day and this is one day versus, it being all being a one-day thing. But the main kind of thing for me in this is that it doesn't have the weekly spread, which is important to me. I also, for all of these, I will have a link in the description for you. A lot of these are affiliate links. Some of them are, some of them aren't. This one is. This is currently in my rotation. So this is the last one that I used before the one that we'll get into later in the video. The second one is really, really fun. If you are an Enneagram fan, Workspacery made Enneagram specific day planners. So for every Enneagram type is different and is targeted to what your type is going to feel drawn to and or needs. So I have the type 7 planner here, and she helps you with type 7s to really prioritize your energy and know where you're giving your time and making sure that you're giving your time to the right places. This one is done weekly in general, so there's not like daily spreads, but there are weekly spreads. And this wouldn't work for me. I would have to use it in conjunction with either my bullet journal or a notepad or something like that, but it would serve the weekly planning purposes. But I just think this is really fun, and I know a lot of people get a lot of use out of these and adore them. So Workspacery, again, are linked in the comments below. The next two I don't have like physical planners for because it's been a little while since I've done either of these. But the first one is the Desire Map Planner. This is done by Danielle Laporte. This is one of my most recommended books of all time, is her book, The Desire Map. And so her planner surrounding this I used for about 2 years before I created Journey Books, and I created the kind of the planner of my dreams. But she has a similar layout, like she has like big spreads, the book itself is large, spiral bound so you can kind of bend it all the way around, it can be held kind of really nicely in your hands. It's made really well with really good paper, really good binding, everything like that. And there's lots of space for planning and dreaming. And it's also the whole idea of the Desire Map is to create goals based on how you want to feel in your life. And so every day she really refocuses you and helps you to pay attention to how it is that you want to feel. That is something that I think everyone needs and deserves. If you're an Enneagram Type 3 or an Enneagram Type 1 or 6, I think you need it a little bit more than the rest of us. So I would recommend that for you as well. I'm not an affiliate for that program anymore, but I was at one time, and I'm a big fan. I love it. So cannot recommend it enough. The next one that I have for you is not here because it doesn't exist it's not like a planner you can buy, but it is bullet journaling. This is what I did between Journey Books and finding the Full Focus Planner. I did all of my planning in my bullet journal. If you are in Brave Collective, there's a whole workshop series just on how to do the Brave Collective curriculum within a bullet journal. So I break it all down for you from like the beginning to the end. It's all right there. But essentially a bullet journal is just using a notebook, like a dotted notebook, and drawing out your own day planner for yourself every day. The elements that really matter to me are a weekly spread, like prioritizing your top 3 tasks for the day, and then a running task list, and then the hour by hour. Those are things that like I have to have in a book. So if I do a bullet journal, those are going to be present for sure. Now, let's talk about the one I'm using right now. This is the Life Map Daily. This is created by a fellow YouTuber, Michelle B. You've probably heard of her, but just in case you haven't, it's MuChelleb on YouTube. You can go check her out. She does a lot of good like planning videos, organization videos. She's the one that I got the Life Admin Day from, so she's really awesome in that world. And this is her planner. This one as well as this one are both quarterly planners. So the Full Focus and the Life Map Planner are both quarterly. The Desire Map is yearly. Bullet journal, obviously you do your own thing, and the Enneagram one is 6 months, just for reference. But the Life Map Daily, she actually does 13 weeks. So what's interesting about it is that she has you go through this whole like intentions. It's like essentially a workshop at the beginning of the journal. And I honestly would have bought this just for this process, because even though this is what I do for a living, like I help people to clarify their ideas and to make them come to life, it's hard to hold that space for yourself. So sometimes you just need someone to hold that space for you. So I felt really grateful to have someone hold that space for me through the beginning of this journal. Once you go through that process, you really clarify like what is my number one goal right now? Like in this quarter, what do I want to do more than anything else? And then what are my like supporting goals? 2 goals that are just like smaller goals, but I want to really get those done as well. And so then every day, your daily spread starts with refocusing in and remembering your most important goal and then your 2 miniature goals. And this is so helpful for me just to write them down every day, because it reminds me of where I am intending to put my intention right now. If I don't do this, it's easy for me to get distracted by the little minute tasks that can be done in my business instead of focusing on the big picture of where I want to be at the end of this quarter. So I think that's really awesome. And this is also like a 2-page spread. So this is the planning of the day, and then this is your hour by hour. And then she asks some really good prompts in there for you. So there's a new journaling, like little, I would say journaling prompts, but it's really just a question to answer every day in there for you when you start your day, and then you go into like actual action that you intend to take. One thing that I love-hate relationship with about this particular planner is that there's very few spaces for tasks for the day. The reason I love that is because it forces me to think smaller and to not overschedule myself or to over commit my time, and it really helps me to focus in on like what tasks do I really need to get done today. However, I almost always have to create new, like, this is what a day looks like for me. Like, I have like created space for new tasks to go just because I do a lot. But I'd love in my dreams to only have 7 tasks in a day, but that's just not my life. The next thing is you have the hour by hour, which again is super important to me. And then she does a daily reflection. So she asks you to answer how well you spent your time that day, the biggest wins for the day, what you're grateful for, and how I could have made today better. And I don't do that every single day at the end of the workday, but I do find it refreshing and nice when I do just kind of check in at the end of my workday. There is a section in here for weekly planning. I don't really use it though. It's not as effective for me and for like the Brave Collective curriculum as the one in the Full Focus Planner. So I feel that is like a sacrifice I feel like I made for the more in-depth, kind of goal-oriented, purpose-driven questions that this one brings to the table. The weekly spreads that she does like a weekly review. So what are your wins? How are your goals going? What challenges did you face and how can you improve next week? And then you make a plan for the next week. So you reassess your goals, you make new weekly goals, you put down weekly tasks. There's just not enough space for me to really effectively use that. And then she has trackers where you can do like habit trackers and you can mark off if you do certain things in a day. I don't really use that either. So the weekly spread for me is kind of a wash, just based off of like what I do and how I use the book. But for someone, it might be helpful for you if that's something that you want and need. But this is the one that I'm currently using. I will likely repurchase this one for the next quarter. I bought this in the middle of a quarter. I would love to kind of start the year off with a new one and have like a whole new quarter, you know, like kind of do the whole thing in real time versus really have one per quarter. I think that would be really nice. But those are the ones that I use, the ones that I have used, and I really stand behind. And if you're in Brave Collective or intend to join, these will support you in the curriculum that we do in our community. I hope this is helpful. Let me know below if you have a day planner that you already use and love, what it is and what you like about it, and what is something that you look for in a day planner. I'd love to hear. As always, it is an absolute joy to create content for you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.